The first time the system logged a temperature at 3:12 a.m. I was staring right at the screen, and I hadn't typed a thing. Outpost K-17 wasn't the kind of place you volunteered for. It was seasonal work, 3 months in the dead zone, where the map fades into white, and the wind sounds like it's trying to remember how to speak. My job was simple: monitor systems, log anomalies, and make sure nothing, human or otherwise, interfered with the instruments. That last part always felt like a joke. There was nothing out there. Nothing could survive out there. We were 3 people stationed there that winter. Me, Alvarez, and Chen, rotating shifts, 8 hours on, 16 off. Routine, predictable, safe, in the most isolated way possible. The kind of place where boredom becomes your worst enemy. At least, that's what I thought before the logs started writing themselves. It began small. A single entry in the system log, 3:12 a.m., external temp, minus 78 degrees Celsius. No anomaly flag, no error code, just recorded data. The problem? I was on shift at that exact time, and I hadn't entered anything. The system wasn't automated for that parameter either. Manual confirmation was required. I checked the access logs. No remote login, no internal override, just my credentials. Used without me. I told Alvarez the next morning. He laughed it off. Said the cold messes with electronics, makes systems do weird things. Ghost in the machine, he called it, like that made it less unsettling. Chen didn't laugh. He just asked one question. What was the temperature outside at that time? We checked. The external sensors read minus 61 degrees Celsius at 3:12 a.m. Not even close. The logged value wasn't just wrong. It was impossible. Temperatures that low would have triggered emergency protocols, system-wide alarms, power conservation mode. None of that happened. Just a quiet, clean entry. Like it belonged there. That night, I started watching the logs more closely. Every keystroke, every flicker. Hours passed. Nothing. Just the hum of the station and the wind scraping against reinforced steel. Then, at exactly 3:12 a.m. again, the cursor blinked, and the system typed on its own. 3:12 a.m., external temp, minus 81 degrees Celsius. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I watched each character appear like something invisible was standing behind me, reaching through me, using my hands without touching them. When it finished, the cursor stopped. No error, no trace, just silence. I woke Chen immediately. This time he didn't hesitate. We ran diagnostics, checked firmware, even shut down the logging module entirely. When we restarted it, everything seemed normal, clean, stable. But Chen kept staring at the timestamps like they meant something more. "It's not random," he said. "It's precise." The next anomaly came 2 nights later. Not temperature, movement. At 2:47 a.m., the motion sensors around the perimeter lit up. Sector 3, then Sector 5, then all of them, in sequence, like something was circling the station. The problem was, visibility outside was 0, full whiteout. Winds strong enough to peel skin off bone. Even stepping outside for 30 seconds would be a death sentence. But the sensors kept triggering. Slow. Deliberate. Not chaotic like debris or shifting ice. This had a pattern. A path. I called Alvarez into the control room. We both watched the monitor as the signals moved, one after another, getting closer to the main entrance. Then they stopped, right at the door. We didn't open it. Of course we didn't. We just stood there, listening. The storm howled, metal groaned, but beneath it, there was something else. A faint, irregular tapping. Not loud, not urgent, just patient. It lasted for exactly 30 seconds. Then it stopped. And so did the sensors. The logs recorded everything, every movement, every timestamp. But there was one extra entry at the end of the sequence. 2:48 a.m. Subject stationary. Awaiting entry. Subject? We never programmed that word into the system. Things escalated after that. The logs didn't just record data anymore. They started predicting it. The first time it happened, it was Chen. At 1:05 a.m., hours before his shift, the system logged. 4:22 a.m. Internal incident. Cardiac arrest. Subject, Chen. We found him at 4:21 a.m., collapsed near the generator room. No warning signs, no history, just gone. The timestamp was off by a minute. Everything else was exact. Alvarez wanted to shut everything down, call for evacuation. But the storm had locked us in. Communications were spotty. Rescue wouldn't come for at least 48 hours. We were alone, with a system that seemed to know things it shouldn't. And then it logged Alvarez. 3:12 a.m. External temp minus 92 degrees Celsius. 3:13 a.m. Perimeter breach. 3:14 a.m. Subject exited station. 3:16 a.m. Status deceased. We argued for hours. He swore he wasn't going anywhere, said the logs were glitching, feeding off our paranoia. But I saw it in his eyes. He was already halfway convinced. That's the thing about predictions. Once you know them, they start feeling inevitable. At 3:13 a.m., the alarms went off. Perimeter breach, Sector 1, the main entrance. Alvarez froze, looked at me, then at the door. The same door that had been tapped on 2 nights before. The same door the system now insisted had been breached. "I have to check it," he said. I told him not to. I begged him not to. But the system, it had already written his next step. And somehow, that made it harder to resist. Like he was following instructions instead of making a choice. He opened the door. The storm swallowed him instantly. White, endless, gone. We found his body the next morning, just 10 meters from the entrance. Frozen solid, eyes open. Like he'd seen something right before the end. Something worse than the cold. After that, it was just me and the logs. I stopped sleeping, stopped leaving the control room. I watched the screen like it was the only thing keeping me alive. Because maybe it was. If it could predict death, maybe I could avoid it. Then I saw my name. 3:12 a.m. External temp, -100 degrees Celsius. 3:13 a.m. Internal anomaly detected. 3:14 a.m. Subject observes reflection. 3:15 a.m. Status: replaced. Replaced? I didn't understand it at first. I checked every system, every sensor. Nothing unusual. No breach, no movement. Just that one line, sitting there like a sentence already passed. At 3:14 a.m., I noticed something in the monitor. Not in the logs, in the reflection on the screen. Behind me, something was standing in the room. I turned slowly. Nothing. Empty. Just the hum of machines and the dim emergency lights. But when I looked back at the screen, it was still there. A shape, tall, wrong, watching me through the glass like the reflection belonged to a different reality. And then it moved. Not in the room, but in the reflection. It stepped closer to me, without making a sound, without disturbing anything around it, like it wasn't bound by the same space I was in. The logs updated. 3:14:30 a.m. Subject interaction initiated. My hands started shaking. I tried to move, to look away, but I couldn't. It was like the screen had me locked in place. Like whatever that thing was, it needed me to see it. It reached out. And for a moment, I felt something cold brush against my shoulder. Not air, not wind. Something deliberate. The lights flickered, the reflection vanished, and I was alone again. The final entry appeared at 3:15 a.m. Status: replaced. I don't know how long it's been since then. The storm hasn't stopped. The station is still running. The logs are still updating. But something's wrong. I still see the reflection sometimes, even when the screen is off. And the logs, they don't use my name anymore. They just say, subject active. Monitoring continues. Thanks for sipping tonight's tale with Haunted Brew. Don't forget to subscribe and sleep tight if you still can.